All right, if you're a parent, you know this feeling. You're trying your best to teach responsibility, but what you get back, so often, are excuses. Today, we're going to dive into a really powerful tool that a lot of schools are using to handle this exact problem. It's called the No Excuses Framework. We're going to break down what it is, and more importantly, how you can use these same simple ideas at home to help your child learn to take ownership and really, truly grow.
Wow. This quote really it hits home, doesn't it? Excuses are bridges to nowhere. And when you think about it, that's exactly what they do. They keep our kids stuck. So by teaching them how to move past the excuses, we're not just correcting a bad habit, we're actually giving them the tools to build bridges to somewhere real, to real growth and achievement.
Oh yeah. Sound familiar? I thought so. These are pretty much the greatest hits of childhood excuses, right? And listen, it can be unbelievably frustrating to hear these on a loop. But what if we looked at them just a little bit differently? What if every single excuse was actually an opportunity, a chance to change the conversation from who's to blame to who's going to be accountable?
And that shift from blame to accountability, that's exactly what this No Excuses framework is designed for. This isn't about you winning an argument with your kid. No. It's a structured, thoughtful way to guide them through their mistakes, helping them build skills like resilience and problem solving, the stuff that's going to last a lifetime. So let's get into how it works.
Okay, so here's the crucial point. This is not just another discipline tactic. Think of it as an educational tool. It's all about teaching a process, teaching kids the ability to just pause for a second, think about their own part in what happened, take responsibility for it, and, this is the most important part, learn from it for next time. It's really about building that emotional intelligence.
And this is such a key shift for us as parents. The goal here is not punishment, it's growth. We're trying to get away from that exhausting cycle of blame, consequence, repeat. Instead, we're starting a conversation that's all about building self-control. And that is what empowers kids, showing them that ultimately they are in charge of their own choices.
So how do we actually put this into practice? Well, it all boils down to 4 simple, really memorable steps. These are the exact steps teachers are using in the classroom, and you're going to see just how easily they work for pretty much any conversation you might have at home.
Here they are. Step 1, own your part. Step 2, cause and effect. Step 3, solve the problem. And finally, Step 4, change it going forward. Let's kind of peel back the layers on each one and see how they build on each other to create this really powerful learning moment.
All right, step 1 is the foundation for everything. Own your part. This is where we simply ask our child to stop pointing fingers and just identify their action in the situation. It's not about them taking 100% of the blame, not at all. It's just about owning their specific piece of what happened. That's the only place real change can start.
This is perfect for that classic, but they started it moment. I mean, look at this example. One kid swipes a toy, the other kid responds by kicking. Did both kids do something wrong? Yes, they absolutely did. The framework is simple. The first kid owns the swiping. The second kid owns the kicking. It doesn't matter who started it. Everybody is responsible for their own actions. That is a total game changer.
So once a child owns their action, we can move right into step 2, cause and effect. This is all about connecting the dots for them. It's about drawing a straight line from what they did to what happened because of it. It's such a simple but powerful lesson for life. Every choice we make has a result.
And you can make this connection crystal clear with really simple examples. The cause is I didn't study, so the effect is I failed the test. The cause is I jumped in a puddle, while the effect is my shoes got wet. And remember, this works for positive things too. This simple link just helps make the consequences of their choices, good and bad, impossible to ignore.
Okay, so they've owned their action and they see the effect it had. Now what? Now the focus shifts to the future. With step 3, solve the problem. This is the pivot point. This is where we stop looking backward at the mistake and start looking forward to a solution. We're guiding them to be a problem solver, not just someone who messes up. This one question, this is the engine that drives all of step 3. And notice the tone. It's not accusatory. It's a genuine, curious question. You're inviting your child to think creatively and critically about their choices. It opens up a whole world of other possibilities for them. For example, let's say your kid blames their teacher for a bad grade. By asking, what could you have done differently, you completely redirect that blame. Maybe the answer is they could have asked for help or started the project a little sooner. All of a sudden, the power to change the outcome is back in their hands.
And finally, step 4 is what makes the lesson actually stick. This is where you and your child work together to create a simple, concrete plan for next time. You talk about what that better choice will actually look like in the real world. This last step is what turns a frustrating mistake into a really valuable lesson.
So now that we get the 4 steps, let's talk about what's probably the most important part, actually bringing this into your home. You know, consistency between school and home is what makes this whole framework so incredibly effective. It's the secret sauce. So here are a few simple but really powerful tips. Try to use the same language, like saying, "Okay, let's own our part here." Model it yourself by admitting when you make a mistake. Ask questions like, "So, what can we learn from this?" And this one is huge. Praise the effort. When you see them trying to take responsibility, even if they do it clumsily, make a big deal out of it.
And I really cannot overstate this. When your child hears you say, "Oops, I forgot to pack your lunch. That was my mistake. Tomorrow, I'm going to put a reminder on my phone." You are modeling this entire framework in one simple, powerful moment. They learn what accountability looks like by watching you.
So, this is the ultimate goal. When we consistently use this language and this approach, we're guiding our kids away from that dead-end street of excuses. We are actively teaching them that a mistake is not the end of the story. It's just an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to take charge of your own life.
And maybe that's the real takeaway here. The next time you hear that classic, "It wasn't my fault," try to see it not as a moment of frustration, but as an invitation. An invitation to have a totally different kind of conversation. One that's not about blame, but about growth. One that builds responsibility, fosters self-control, and truly empowers your child for whatever comes next.